It's Super Bowl week and the stock market has hit a new all-time high. So this week we saw the S&P 500 notch above 5,000 points for the first time ever. Since the stock market had hit 4,000 points, here are some of the best performers that we have seen to help it to drive it to over 5,000 points. So Nvidia, Eli Lilly, Astria Networks, and Marathon Petroleum have been the top performers from the 4,000 milestone all the way up to the 5,000 point milestone that we saw this week. Friday morning, we saw the Consumer Price Index report come out. So this is an inflation read that is highly scrutinized by the Federal Reserve. And what we saw were lower than expected numbers. So only a 0.2% increase in inflation, which is lower than the 0.3% expectations that we had. Stock futures reacted very positively to that Friday morning, and it looks like the week will close out on a winning note, and we may close above that milestone record for the S&P 500 of 5,000 points. Also in some news this week, Pepsi reported stronger than expected earnings reports. Also, we saw a large uptick in Disney stock. So Disney had an earnings expectation beat. They also announced that the Taylor Swift tour will be streaming on Disney Plus. So some big things happening at Disney as they are under attack by other streaming services such as Apple, Amazon, and Netflix as they are making a stronger push into live sports. So although we saw a very steady increase in the stock, I do expect the stock to drop below 100 again, maybe even down into the 80s again in the somewhat distant or near future. So there's a quick recap on what we saw for the stock market this week. Like we mentioned, it's a lot of the AI craze is still driving the stock market higher. Microsoft having that equity ownership in OpenAI continues to propel that stock above the $400 range. So keep in mind, although the stock market is at a record high, historically, record highs are followed by record highs. So just because the market is high right now doesn't necessarily mean that it'll immediately revert back to where it was. We may see a bit of softening towards the end of the first quarter. However, our year-end estimate that we predicted was around 4,900 for the S&P. So we're still obviously above that range right now, but I do expect the market to still close out the year on a positive note. So leave a comment. Let me know some of your thoughts on what you're seeing and what you're reading in the market this week.